Welcome to News Beacon, your trusted source for breaking headlines, global insights, and sharp analysis from around the world. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Imagine two giants on a playground, once happily trading toys and sharing their favorite games, building a sense of trust and cooperation. But now, those same giants are snatching each other's most prized possessions, their friendship replaced by suspicion and rivalry. What began as a simple dispute over prices and tariffs has exploded into a fierce battle for control over the technologies, resources, and innovations that power our modern world. From microchips to rare earth minerals, every resource is now a bargaining chip. In October 2025, the US and China are deploying new, aggressive tactics, sending shockwaves through the global economy and rattling markets from New York to Shanghai. This isn't just a problem for politicians or CEOs. These high-stakes decisions could soon affect the price of your phone, your car, and even your job security. Everyday people are starting to feel the impact in their wallets and workplaces. The US has moved to block China's access to American technology, cutting off vital components and software that Chinese companies rely on to compete globally. Meanwhile, China is determined to push back just as hard, ramping up its own innovation efforts and seeking new partners to reduce its dependence on American tech. A planned meeting between President Trump and President Xi now hangs in the balance, with both leaders under pressure at home and abroad to stand their ground. Both sides are digging in for a prolonged fight, as negotiations stall and public opinion hardens on both sides of the Pacific. The rules of global trade are being rewritten in real time, with ripple effects reaching far beyond just the US and China. Around the world, governments, businesses, and ordinary people are watching nervously, wondering what the next move will be and how it will affect their futures. In the next scenes, we'll break down the new trade weapons, the strategies behind them, and the real-world consequences of this escalating conflict. Most importantly, we'll explore what it all means for you, your family, and the future of the global economy. China's secret weapon in this trade war. It's not just tariffs or technology bans, it's something far more fundamental, yet often overlooked by the world. Rare earth elements, 17 unique metals, are the backbone of modern technology. They're essential for everything from the tiny magnets in your smartphone, to the powerful motors in electric vehicles, to the advanced guidance systems in fighter jets and missiles. Without them, much of our digital and green future would grind to a halt. China controls nearly 70% of global rare earth mining and over 85% of processing. As of October 2025, Beijing is tightening export controls, with new rules taking effect in December. This move is sending shockwaves through global markets and governments. These new regulations allow Beijing to block not just the export of raw, rare earth materials, but also any product containing even trace amounts of these elements. That means everything from microchips to medical devices could be affected. In practice, China could halt shipments of iPhones, electric cars, or even wind turbines if it chooses. The ripple effects would be felt across industries and continents, disrupting production lines and consumer markets worldwide. The rules go even further. Chinese citizens are now banned from assisting foreign companies in building rare earth processing plants. This keeps rivals dependent on China's expertise and technology, making it even harder for other nations to catch up. While the US and other countries have rare earth reserves, they lack the large-scale processing capacity needed to turn raw minerals into usable materials. Building this infrastructure from scratch will take years, if not decades, and require massive investment. By leveraging its dominance, China has transformed a basic resource into a powerful political weapon. Tech companies and governments are now scrambling to secure alternative supplies and rethink their entire supply chain strategies. The world now faces a critical question. How do you operate when a single nation can flip the switch on your most vital industries, holding the fate of global innovation and security in its hands? The US struck back fast, announcing sweeping 100% tariffs on a wide range of Chinese goods, doubling prices overnight for everything from electronics to clothing. The move was designed to send a shockwave through global trade, making it instantly more expensive for American companies and consumers to buy Chinese products. Retailers scrambled to update price tags, and importers rushed to clear shipments before the new rules hit. The message was clear: the era of cheap imports was over, at least for now. But tariffs are just the start. The US is also threatening to cut off China's access to advanced American software, crucial for everything from semiconductors to industrial design. This software powers the world's most sophisticated chips, AI systems, and even the machines that build smartphones and electric cars. Without it, China's tech sector could face major setbacks, slowing innovation and production across multiple industries. These measures, set for November, send a clear message. The US is willing to endure pain to protect its tech edge. Lawmakers and officials argue that safeguarding American innovation is worth the economic cost, even if it means short-term hardship for businesses and workers. The government is betting that these tough actions will force China to the negotiating table, or at least slow its rise as a tech superpower. The financial world panicked, markets tumbled, fearing broken supply chains and a global slowdown. Investors watched in disbelief as stock prices fell and volatility spiked. Wall Street analysts warned that the ripple effects could reach every corner of the global economy, from raw materials to finished goods. This high-stakes gamble pressures China, but also risks higher prices and uncertainty for American consumers and businesses. Everyday shoppers are already feeling the pinch at the checkout line, while small businesses worry about keeping shelves stocked and costs under control. Manufacturers face tough choices about sourcing and production, with some considering moving operations out of China altogether. The strategy is bold, but comes with real risks: rising costs, market volatility, and potential job losses at home. Some communities are bracing for layoffs as factories slow down or close, and financial advisors are fielding anxious calls from clients worried about their savings and retirement plans. The trade war is no longer just about goods, it's about who controls the future of technology. From artificial intelligence to next-generation networks, the battle lines are drawn over the innovations that will shape the 21st century. Both sides are betting big, and the stakes couldn't be higher. The outcome will determine not just the balance of trade, but the balance of power for decades to come. China's counterattack zeroes in on America's tech leaders, especially chipmakers like Nvidia and Qualcomm. Chinese authorities are delaying shipments, launching regulatory probes, and quietly urging local firms to stop buying US chips. Nvidia's AI chips, vital for next-gen tech, are being blocked at ports and shunned by Chinese buyers. Qualcomm faces a new antitrust investigation, rattling investors and threatening its business in China. These targeted moves disrupt American companies without a blanket ban, sending a warning to the entire US tech sector. For firms like Nvidia and Qualcomm, China is both a manufacturing hub and a massive market. Losing access could mean billions lost. The message is clear: doing business in China can become difficult, fast. US tech giants now face a dangerous balancing act between Washington's demands and Beijing's pressure. The trade war is now hitting the world's ports. Both countries have slapped new fees on each other's ships, raising costs for everything from electronics to furniture. These fees disrupt global shipping, causing delays and chaos in supply chains. Meanwhile, the US has expanded its trade blacklist, instantly adding over 1,000 Chinese entities, including subsidiaries of tech giants like Huawei and DJI. Now, exporters must untangle complex ownership webs to avoid severe penalties for selling to blacklisted firms. This creates headaches for global companies, increasing costs and slowing trade. The result: more friction, more uncertainty, and a world where every shipment is a potential risk. The engine of global trade is sputtering as new barriers pile up. Both the US and China now see dependence on each other as a vulnerability and are racing to become self-reliant. China is pouring resources into homegrown semiconductor production, aiming to triple output by 2026 and match US chip performance. The government is cracking down on companies smuggling in US chips, determined to force adoption of Chinese alternatives. The US, alarmed by China's rare earth threats, is scrambling to revive domestic mining and processing, but progress is slow. This shift marks a move away from globalization, toward two separate economic worlds, each duplicating supply chains at great cost. The push for self-reliance is expensive and inefficient, but both sides see it as essential for security. The era of easy global cooperation is ending, replaced by a costly race to go it alone. The world is dividing, and everyone will pay the price. All these moves may seem distant, but they're about to hit home, hard. Tariffs, port fees, and supply chain chaos mean higher prices for everything from smartphones to cars. Your phone, for example, relies on US software, Chinese rare earths, and global assembly. Every step is now under threat. Companies facing higher costs will pass them on to you, the consumer. American firms that sell to China, like farmers and tech giants, could see sales plunge, risking layoffs. Manufacturers relying on Chinese parts may slow production, putting more jobs at risk. Some hope new policies will bring jobs back to the US, but that's a slow, uncertain process. For now, the trade war means less job security and more pressure on your wallet. The US-China trade war is shaking companies worldwide, not just in the two superpowers. Global firms like German automakers or Japanese electronics giants depend on both US tech and Chinese materials. Now they face tangled supply chains, new tariffs, and legal minefields. US software controls and China's rare earth restrictions can halt production or drive up costs overnight. The expanded US blacklist forces companies everywhere to vet their partners or risk losing access to American tech. Many are scrambling to move factories out of China, but friendshoring is costly and slow. The result? A fragmented global economy, where politics, not efficiency, decides where things are made. International business is being rewritten, and everyone is feeling the strain. We're at a crossroads. One path leads to a divided world of rival economic blocs, fractured supply chains, and higher costs for all. If the US and China keep escalating, the era of globalization could end, replaced by suspicion and competition. The long-term risks: slower growth, less innovation, and a more expensive world. Yet, there's still a chance for de-escalation. China has hinted at dialogue, and the US has left room for negotiation. The upcoming uncertain summit could offer an off-ramp, if leaders choose it. The stakes are enormous. A full-blown trade war could trigger a global recession and disrupt essential goods worldwide. The choices made now will shape the world for generations, affecting prices, jobs, and the pace of progress. The world is watching, and the next moves will define our future.